Hello, and welcome to the fourth in our If There's a Hell Below conversation series. I'm here with actor Paul Budraitis. How you doing, Paul?
I'm well. How are you, Nathan?
Doing great. Thanks for being on. Before we get going, I want to update
Nathan
people.
Williams Show.
Hmm?
Thanks for being on the Nathan Williams Show.
No, we can't call this the Nathan Williams Show. Nobody will watch it. We are recording this basically at exactly the halfway point of our crowdfunding campaign on Seed and Spark. It is the 23rd day, and we have 23 days remaining. So I think noon today was the halfway point of our 45-day campaign. So very excited to share that we are a little bit ahead of schedule. We're at just over 60% to goal. And yesterday we had our 100th unique supporter, which is fantastic.
Wow. That is awesome.
Because, you know, I didn't have 100 people show up at my wedding. So there's a lot of people who don't know me or you or any of the cast or crew directly who have been supporting, and that's super encouraging, and we thank obviously everybody as warmly. But
who are these mystical people?
I mean, I'm not sure exactly. I mean, they're friends of friends of friends, or they're people who've seen the pitch video, or people who've, you know, follow someone on Facebook or on Twitter, or but some of them I'm not sure. So
let's bless their souls.
Bless your souls and your generosity and your vocal support. And, you know, remember, if you have contributed, you can still be incredibly useful and powerful for this campaign by just spreading the word about it. Because there are, you know, everyone I know who likes me, which is a very small pool of people, they've already contributed. So we need to expand that circle. Please let people know about the project. Please let people know we're close, and 60% is awesome, but it's not there. We can't make the movie where we're at. So our little high-tech chart of the day, you can see the red dots are kind of the pace we should be on. We were a little bit below here, but we're a little bit above there. But, you know, this is not a line that just takes care of itself. Every time that line goes up, it's a person making a contribution, making a sacrifice to get this film made. So hope to report in more. We just started our regional contest, the Funder Games. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
The current cities competing are regions competing: Minnesota, Indiana, and the DC area. So the winner gets the premiere of the movie. If anybody watching, listening says, hey, I want the premiere in my town, start a team and see if you can compete. So we'll see where we'll be going to watch this thing when it's done. So Paul, I may not have sufficiently introduced you. You are one of our lead actors in the film, playing the role of Schaefer. And your role and Mark Carr's role, we have been a little bit circumspect about. The pitch video features Connor and Carol, because you guys, in the nature of the story, are revealed through the story. So the fact that you aren't in the pitch video does not mean you are not a very, very big part of the movie. As you know.
I appreciate you saying that, because I was starting to think you didn't like me, maybe.
No, I like you so much. You're like a secret weapon that we need to
nice.
to reveal. So we might not talk as much about the role itself because of the nature of the story. But I really want to talk to you like our other actors, kind of about acting. I feel like I've known you for a while. It hasn't really been that long, but you are someone I haven't worked with before, which will be fun to talk about.
Indeed.
Right. I have not directed you. You have not directed me. we know of each other and have seen each other's work, and but our process, we haven't gone into the fire and tested it yet. So
that's true.
We'll chat a little bit about it. So you are a director yourself.
Yes.
And you are an actor of both stage and screen.
Yes.
So I'd be interested, and I think a lot of people are interested in your perspective, both as director or actor. What are there real differences in craft for acting on stage, acting in movies, maybe acting in television or web videos is its own category? What do you draw the lines, or are they all a spectrum?
I definitely, I don't know if drawing a line is the way I think about it, but the differences are very clear, I think, to anybody who's done it. I've never done any television or web acting, so I can't really speak to that. But I think that what is called for in theater and what is called for in film acting are just very different but overlapping skill sets. You still, if you're doing realism, let's just start there. You do need to build some sort of internal psychological mechanism that's going to bring this character to life and sort of, most importantly, be spontaneous with your partner in the moment. So in other words, you're building a system internally that allows you to respond quickly and spontaneously depending on what your partner is giving you. Mm-hmm. I think that's true of either theater or film. So there's that overlap. Of course, with film, the camera is right there, and it's picking up the most subtle movement that you're making, facially or gesturally. So you have to be confident that that's happening and not feel like you have to do more than allow you to just capture those subtle things. That can be a very technical process, even at that subtle level. And I think the technical challenges. There are technical challenges in theater as well, but I feel like film is obviously more technical in terms of the acting challenges. Turn your head this much, don't turn it this much. Lift your eyes that much. I actually really like that aspect of film acting, and from the first time I tried it, it was refreshing in how technical it was. I actually liked that part of it. It was a nice challenge to be able to maintain that sense of psychological honesty while you're doing these hyper-technical things.
It's interesting because I feel like part of my job as film director is to make it as untechnical as possible for you. I mean, I can't make it not technical, but as much as I can take away technical distractions, whenever possible.
No, that makes sense because they can get in the way.
Yeah, but, I mean, so often, shooting close-ups, for instance, you'll have an eye line in a film where you can't actually look at the person you're acting with.
Right.
And that's, I implicitly trust you're a good enough actor to be able to do that, but I'd rather you didn't have to.
Right. Totally.
It's going to be great if you can't look at them, but it's probably going to be just a little better if you can, or at least a little easier. And
sure.
And
because ultimately you are trying to capture that honest interchange.
Right.
And so the more artifice is built into that, the less likely it is to happen, but it doesn't mean it can't happen.
Yeah.
So good on you, director man.
Well, I don't want to promise too much. There will be, highly technical moments where you're looking at a tennis ball and there's a buzzsaw going off near you. So yeah, I've never directed stage. I mean, I've acted on stage in school, which is of limited instructional use. But I don't. I really like working with actors who have a lot of stage experience. It's not a rule, but partially because there's a certain discipline you guys have, which is just easier to work with because I'm doing a million things at once, and just knowing that I can count on you for certain craft things, certain just knowing your lines when you show up in the morning, which you'd be surprised.
I'm not making you any promises, Nathan.
Well, we need to talk if that's. But I've never found it hard directing people who've primarily done stage.
But you do a lot of long takes, don't you?
I do a lot of long takes. I like, I hope they don't feel proscenium-esque. They don't feel.
No.
But I like to give people space. I really hate, unless it's a really important moment, having an actor feel like I can't move my head, I can't move my body, I can't move my eyes, because it's rare in life that you like that. I mean, we're having a distant, intimate conversation now, but I'm not worried about tilting my head the wrong way. And I think close-ups are really, really powerful, and it's sort of like a cymbal crash in a song or something. If you have too much, you rob them of their power. So I certainly use close-ups, and I cut, and it's not a ethos, but I like to give people space. I think the acting's better, and I think it's more interesting.
And what I was going to say was that then that makes sense that you would be attracted to working with theater actors. Because of their ability to sustain a long scene. They have the ability to sustain an entire several-hour performance, without any net.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I really like that. Another just
probably one of the main differences, isn't it? It's probably one of the main differences between film and theater acting too.
Yeah, I mean, some film actors, and I guess to a fault potentially, a theater actor, you might do 10 takes, and they're refining the same approach each time, whereas some film-only actors will give you 10 totally different things, and for certain kinds of work, that's better.
Is that a necessarily? I mean, is that a given? Is that what you expect from an actor? I mean, isn't that up to the director to say, give me something different?
I should corral either of them if it's not the approach we need.
Right.
So those are sort of arbitrary examples that are not universally true.
Have I ever told you the Jerry Garcia quote?
No.
About the difference between recording music in a studio and playing live. And I feel like it's an appropriate analogy to film and theater. Where he said that recording in a studio is like building a ship in a bottle. Everything's very precise and intentional, whereas playing live is like rowing a boat on the open sea. I always appreciated that because theater, once you get it out there, there's no turning back until it's over. Whereas with film, everything you can be, if something's not going well, you stop and you do it the exact way you want it to go. You don't seem to embrace this analogy.
Well, to a certain degree, yeah. But what I try to do is to take that as much off your minds as actors as possible. That you're not thinking, I need to do it again like the way I did it last time.
Well, but then think of it from a directorial standpoint. You're the one building the bottle. I mean, building the ship in the bottle.
No, for me,
when I'm directing theater, I'm building a boat that's going to be able to sail.
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh God.
No, I think that's probably spot on. I would like to shield the actual performers. I'd like to recreate the feeling of it being a sailing ship for the actors. I'm recreating the conditions for you to do the next take, not saying I need you to move your head the exact same way you did last time.
Except for that one time when you will ask that.
It will happen. I mean, there's times when I'll just say, okay, I need you to look this direction. I'm just going to get 3 seconds of this. And you'll go, what am I looking at? Why am I doing this? I'll be like,
just look over there.
Just look over there. And what it cuts with will be incredible.
And I'm going to say, my character would not look over there. Okay?
Yeah. What's over there? Just a bunch of junk. I'm not going to do that.
What do I feel about the junk, man?
Yeah.
I seem to have a very derisive attitude towards actors. I probably shouldn't make that public. I really don't feel that way. Just
No, we're having fun. We're having
just
fun.
having fun. Exactly.